going to go down 10% or 15%. No way. We are way out of balance. We're not going to have a little mild recession. This is a major economic contraction that's coming, and the real estate market and the mortgage market is right in the forefront.
All right, we're going to take one more question in the interest of time. I'm sorry, sir, in the back. You've had yours. Yes, sir?
Yes, you talked earlier about how there were forecasts made last year. I'd like to hear before he leaves what Peter's forecasts were and how they've gone about during the past year, and then to have each of you, where do each of you think the Dow will be 1 year from now and the 10-year Treasury will be 1 year from now?
Good question. Peter?
Well, when I was here last year, I didn't make any forecasts, I don't think, on the Dow. I made forecasts on real estate, and I predicted that the market would go down, and it has gone down. I predicted that the bubble was in the process of bursting, and it has. The question now is how much air was in it and how much is going to come out, and I think it's still got a long way to go. And, you know, when you mention those statistics about adjustable rate mortgages, the problem is they're all concentrated in the high-priced markets. I think something like 54% of the value of mortgages in the United States is adjustable rate because they're all concentrated in the high-priced markets. It's a huge problem. What's going to happen to the Dow? You know, the market's been rising in nominal terms. There's a tremendous amount of inflation. So I don't even care if the Dow goes up or down in nominal terms. The Dow is losing value as we speak. It has been losing value for 7 years. If you adjust the Dow for the CPI, it would have to be at 14,000 right now, even if you take the government's numbers as accurate. If you figure the government CPI is understating inflation by 2 to 3% a year, which I think is conservative, the Dow would need to be at 16,000 right now to have the same purchasing power it had in 2000. The Dow right now is about a third below where it was in 2000 in terms of the euro. It's about 25% below where it was in 2000 in terms of the British pound or the Australian or Canadian dollar. The Dow is less than half of where it was in 2000 priced in gold. And if you want to price it in zinc or lead or nickel or copper or oil, it's even worse. So the Dow is losing value against just about anything else that you can own, and I think that's going to continue to be the case. Long-term interest rates eventually going sky high. I don't know where they'll be next year, but eventually rates are going to Pluto. They're not just going to the moon, they're going to Pluto.
Pluto's not a planet anymore, so I'm
well,
I'm sure
I know, whatever it is, a planetoid.
All right, last comment by Barry Asmus.
I think Peter's scenario would come true if an atomic bomb landed on either Los Angeles, Chicago, or New York. Now, if I think that happened, and that's not beyond the realm of possibility, for sure, if that happened, this scenario would unfold. It would take that kind of an exogenous event. But when you are a $12 trillion economy, very, very productive, and the labor force doubling its productivity in the last years, of course there's going to be some correction, of course there's going to be some softness, and of course some people are going to get burned. But to the degree that Peter said, I don't buy a bit of it, and so once again, we're all going to have to get together next year. And by the way, as much as I disagree with Peter, he's really a neat guy. Take it from me.
As both of you are. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thanks.
help me thank Peter Schiff and Dr. Barry Asmus. Peter, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to conclude the morning session. We are going to have lunch in the Grand Ballroom where we had breakfast this morning. Please join me in just a few minutes with Wells Fargo, who's going to sponsor our lunch. Thank you so much for being here this morning. And if you would be kind enough to leave us your evaluations on what you thought of this session, and if it's of interest to you, you can drop them